Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakkuru Nimiletan Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapadakkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanam Cha Sirupam Sagrajatam Saganasi Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Sri Visakham Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानं पावनभ्य वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So Hare Krishna. So we are continuing with teaching of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 2, chapter 3. So Chaitanya, the teaching of Lord Chaitanya was the summary study of Chaitanya Charitamrita was compiled by Srila Prabhupada. Just like it is a very philosophical selection or philosophical aspect of Chaitanya Charitamrita, particularly the teaching to the Rupa Gosvāmī, what we had a class in the last session. And we have now, today we have a class called Chaitanya's teaching to Sanātana Gosvāmī. This is chapter 2 to continue, chapter 2, 3 and onwards. So also teaching to the Prakasananda Saraswati, teaching to the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and teaching to the Raya Ramananda. So these are called the philosophical section of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a very important philosophical section. It's full of philosophy, full of 5 very important subject matter has been discussed or has been taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his own disciple, to his all these devotees, particularly the ultimate goal of life. What is the ultimate goal of life? Also, the truth of Krishna Tattva. Krishna Tattva, ultimate goal of life. Then principle of devotional service, Bhakti Tattva. Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, and transcendental relation, Rasa Tattva. Importantly, the 3 subject matter has been discussed very elaborately by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And for the devotees, it is paramount important for the devotee to understand, to learn and understand and imbibe this teaching. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said that if there is a pralaya, and all the books has been drowned, if I have to pick up one book, that is Chaitanya Charitamrita, pensate all other books. This is enough to revive the Vedic culture. That is so glorious of Chaitanya Charitamrita, or teaching of Lord Chaitanya. So on this notes, we will start the teaching of Lord Chaitanya to Sanātana Gosvāmī. That is in chapter 2 of teaching of Lord Chaitanya, book by Srila Prabhupada. Just like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was 90 years when he was compiling Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he thought that I might not be complete all the things, entire Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he thought that, so why not give a summary study in the beginning of all this chapter, like Adi Lila, Madhya Lila, and Anta Lila. In the beginning of all this Lila, he wanted to give some synopsis or overview of the chapter, so that, if in case he could not complete, at least the readers can take the advantages of this. So Prabhupada also thinking like that I might not complete Chaitanya Charitamrita. So better to give this TLC first, teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is an important philosophical aspect a selection of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we will start with this very important book of knowledge. The teaching of Lord Chaitanya. So in teaching of Lord Chaitanya, we have already finished teaching to Rupa Goswami. In last classes, we had a beautiful, teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami. He started with this: how the innumerable living entities that floating in this material world, in billions of universe. So somehow and other, if they have got this human form of life, and human form of life also, if they become a devotee, and they are fortunate to come in contact with a bona fide spiritual master, and by the mercy of Krishna and spiritual master, they get the seats of devotional service. When they cultivate the devotional service, they can come to the stage of pure devotional service and penetrate this material world and go back to Godhead. So this is a beautiful understanding of the how the progression of the living entity conditioned soul towards the ultimate goal of life. Today we are going to study about the Sanātana Gosvami teaching, where Mahaprabhu has almost repeated the same thing with more elaborate explanation, because Mahaprabhu taught to Rupa Goswami in the Samadha Ghato for 10 days at Prayag. But he taught to Sanātana Goswami for more than a month in Manikanika Ghat at Banaras. There's a beautiful verses started, Prabhupada started with a very beautiful verses. Bande Ananta Hutasaya Aishwaryam Si Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nichopiyat Prasadasya Bhakti Shastra Pravaktaha. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by whose mercy even a person in the lowest status of life can find direction in the transcendental devotional service to the Lord. So this is the beautiful things. The attitude of a preacher is not that I am very puffed up, I am a great preacher. No, the attitude should be very humble. Just like Rupa Goswami is speaking. Rupa Goswami, when writing his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he was writing that I am nothing. This is the Mahaprabhu's things. Mahaprabhu is the main thing. I have no knowledge. Jiva Goswami also very nicely spoken. Although he has compiled so many books, Sandarbhas, Gopala Champu, and so on and so forth. But what he told that, if anything good, that belongs to my gurus and my Acharya Varga. If anything wrong, that is my pitfall of following them and understanding the Acharya's instruction. That should be the mode and modality, that should be the mood of a preachers. The attitude of a preachers should be humble. Not that I know everything, I'm a great preacher. No, you should acknowledge that this knowledge has been borrowed from the Acharyas. By their mercy, we have received this knowledge. So this should be the thing. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita author Krishnadas Kaviraj, every chapter he was writing, because of Rupa Raghunatha, I am speaking this Chaitanya Charitamrita. After Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renouncement of life sannyas, he traveled all over the India. During the period, he went to Malda, a district in Bengal. In that area, there was a village named Ramkali. A two government ministers of the Nawab Hussain Shah regime lived. These two ministers, who were brothers, were named as Gavira Khas and Sakara Malik. Later, they were named as Rupa Goswami and Sanātana Goswami, respectively. They had chance to meet Lord Chaitanya, and afterward they decided to retire from the government service and join his Sankirtan movement. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan. So he went through the Bengal, and there's a place called Ramkeli, where because at that time in 15th century, India under the subjugation of the Muhammadan Pathan. So there is a Nawab Hussain Shah was ruling, and under the Nawab Hussain Shah, there was two person. They were very exalted. They were originally from a very Saraswat Brahmana community, but somehow or another they have employed under this Muslim government. So they changed their name, and they they were ostracized, also outcasted from the Brahmin community, and they were changed the name as a Davira Khas and Sakaramali. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to the Bengal, he was going to Vrindavan. Lakhs of people, millions of people are following him. At that time, in the Ramkeli, the Rupa Goswami and Sanātana Gosvāmī, that time Sanātana Gosvami was the prime minister of under the government of Nawab Hussain Shah, and the private secretary or finance minister, actually finance minister is Rupa Goswami. So in this way, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said that, Mahaprabhu, this is not the way to go to Vrindavan, because so many people are following Vrindavan to you. People may think, king may think there is some conspiracy, there is some kind of agitation, some kind of movement against the government. That is very detrimental. So please do not go to Vrindavan in this way. So Mahaprabhu agreed to this proposal. He returned to Puri, and later, 1 year later, he went to Vrindavan again. So that time he met Rupa Goswami, Sanātana Goswami, and also his younger brother Anupam, also Jiva Goswami. He was 2 years old. And Mahaprabhu asked two brothers to join, retire from the government job, and join in this Sankirtan movement, because Mahaprabhu's appearance, the purpose of Mahaprabhu advent in this material world, to establish the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord, which is the sublime and exclusive method of going back to Godhead, or to have a God realization. So therefore, he wanted these people like Rupa Goswami, so talented people, they should join in the Sankirtan movement. Upon making this decision, the two brothers at once took steps to leave their material engagement, and they appointed two learned Brahmana to perform certain Vedic religious ritual that would enable them to achieve complete freedom for the devotional service of Krishna. Their preliminary ritualistic function are known as Purusacharya. So here, Sanātana Goswami, Rupa Goswami thought that better to retire. Before retirement, they wanted to learn about some preliminary ritualistic function, because they were Brahman and they have been converted to the Mohammedan. So they do a preliminary ritualistic function for their purification. They require the 3 times a day one worship and offer respect to one forefather, offer oblation to fire, respectfully offer food to learned Brahmana. 5 items is very much important for Purusha Acharya. These are some ritualistic performance for the purification. Because Janmanad Bhavate Sudra. From the birth, we all are Sudra. Sudra means ignorance, fallen. We do not know anything. But sanskarat bhavate dijjo. By sanskara, by purificatory process, we become dijjo, friend of the Brahmanas. We elevated ourselves. So this Purusacharya is there in the Shastra. 5 items is important. The worship, the offering of respect, offering of oblation into the fire, offering of food to a Brahmana constitute Purusacharya. These and other rituals are mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas, an authoritative book of direction for Vaishnava. After arranging for performance of this religious ritual, the younger brother Davirakas Rupa Goswami returned home with an immense amount of money, which he had acquired during his government service. So when they retired, after retirement, they did the Purusacharya, and they have got all the pensions. We have got like pension. That time they had also some pension and all this deposit, all their savings and all. The silver, gold coins he brought back filled a large boat. After arriving home, he first divided the accumulated wealth in half and distributed one part to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Thus, for the satisfaction of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he distributed 50% of his accumulated wealth to person engaged in the Supreme Lord Transcendental Loving Service. Brahmanas are meant to understand the absolute truth. Once they understand the absolute truth and actually engage in loving service of the Lord, they are known as Vaishnava. So here, Rupa Goswami is teaching us how the materialistic people, how the Grahastha devotee how they can engage their money. So 50% he gave to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, devotee, and 25% to his relative dependency, and 25% he himself kept for the emergency. So that is, their charity also should not be given like, blindly. Prabhupada says that if you give a charity even to a spiritual organization, if the spiritual organization employed that money or misappropriated that money, and not only the people who is involved in that, they will be implicated, or those who are donating thinking that I am doing some charitable activity, they are also implicated. So charity should be given to a proper person, proper place, proper time. There is charity also there in these verses. You can see charity also given to the different people in different way. So in this purport, Chaitanya Prabhupada has mentioned that how the charity should be given to different people. Sorry, 2317. So charity, if you giving a unworthy person, it is not good. Here it is say that the charity, money given in charity to a suitable person is guaranteed bank balance in the next life. Such charity is recommended to be given to a Brahmana. If the money given in a charity to a non-Brahmana without Brahmanical qualification, the money is returned in the next life in the same proportion. If it is given charity to a half-educated Brahmana, even then the money is returned double. If the money is given in charity to a learned and fully qualified Brahmana, the money is returned 100 and 1,000 times. If the money is given to a Veda Paraga, one who has factually realized the path of Vedas, it is returned by unlimited multiplication. The ultimate end of Vedic knowledge is realization of personality of Godhead. So here it is said that Veda Paraga, those who are very expert in Vedas, if you give that the ultimate multiplication, there is a guarantee of money being returned if given in charity, regardless of the proportion. Similarly, see here it is very important. Charity is very important because charity should not be given up even by the realized soul. 18.5 it is said that three things should not be given up. What is that? Jagya, dana, tapakriya, na tajya. They are not to be renounced. What is that? Jagya, sacrifice. Sacrifice means to satisfaction of Vishnu. Dana, charity. Tapa means austerity. The three things are very, very paramount important. Even it purified. Pavanani manisima. Even it purified a very exalted soul. That is the injunction of Shastra and Bhagavad Gita. Krishna himself spoke this to Arjuna. So therefore, charity is very, very inevitable, but charity should be given to a proper Vaishnava, proper devotees, intelligent devotee who really understand the Krishna consciousness and preaching Krishna consciousness. So in this way, Sanātana Rupa Gosvāmī is teaching that how to engage your money in charity. Vaishnavas are supposed to be fully engaged in transcendental service. And Rupa Goswami, considering their important transcendental position, gave them 50% of his wealth. So therefore, it should be given 50%. Because Vaishnavas are doing the transcendental position and doing transcendental service. They are helping others. They are helping others to get out from these clutches of Maya, to get out from the miserable condition of material existence. So their most welfare activities, they are the most welfare activists. Vaishnavas are the most welfare activists. And preaching Krishna consciousness is the highest welfare of welfare activities in the world. Because a drowning man, there are so many philanthropic activities, so many altruism, but to save the dress of a drowning man is useless. Therefore, to save the soul is important, not the body. So Vaishnavas are very concerned about others because everybody is a pure soul. We are spiritual beings. Somehow we have been engaged in this body. As a result, we have been suffering in this material existence. So now our soul is lost. So how to revive the soul? That is important, because revive of the soul is our fortunate position, our happy situation. The Vaishnavas are concerned with that, concerned for the poor-hearted grihastha. It is stated in so many verses that why the Vaishnava, why we should give the charity to Vaishnavas. They are not beggars. They, under the plea of begging, they go door to door to enlighten people. Here, these beautiful verses in 10th canto by the father of Krishna, Nanda Maharaj, to Gargamuni. Mahad vichalanam ninnam gruhinam dina chetasam nishresa bhagavana kalpate natha koschit. So here it is said that, O my Lord, O great devotee, person like you move from one place to another, not for their own interest, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihastha householder. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. They have no interest. Simply for the sake of poor-hearted grihastha. They are so stingy. So kripana. They are not brahmana, kripana. They want to hold the money, thinking that I am going to stay permanently in this material world. Therefore, to enlighten them that life is very brief, short, and all your possession, all your assets, association, everything will be stripped out at the time of death. So this is all transient. Therefore, one should be with Krishna consciousness in order to protect his soul, in order to save his soul, in order to get out from this miserable condition of material existence. So that is the main teaching. This devotees, preachers, the Vaishnavas, first-class Vaishnavas, not that showing the deity, asking money. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said that better to become a sweeper than showing the deities and earning your livelihood. That is very condemned. That is very condemned. So therefore, devotees should understand that where to give the charity, how to divide their money. Such distribution of personal wealth is very instructive for all who desire to be elevated in spiritual knowledge. Generally, a person bequeaths all his accumulated wealth in his members and then retires from family activity to make progress in spiritual knowledge. But here we find behavior of Rupa Goswami to be exemplary. He gave 50% of his wealth for spiritual purposes. This should be served as an example for everyone. 25% of his accumulated wealth he kept for personal emergency, was deposited with Bengali grocers. Since in those days there were no banks, 10,000 coins were deposited for expenditures to be incurred by his elder brother Sanātana Gosvāmī. At that time, Rupa Goswami received information that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preparing to go to Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri. Rupa Goswami sent 2 messengers to get actual information of the Lord's itinerary, and he made his own plans to go to Mathura to meet the Lord. So Rupa Goswami sent 2 messengers to get the itinerary of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was planned to go to Mathura, and Rupa Goswami decided to meet Mahaprabhu at Mathura, but he could not do that. He met him in the Prayag. Rupa Goswami was late in going. By that time, Mahaprabhu moved out from Mathura. Mahaprabhu stayed in Mathura and Vrindavan area 4 months. After that, he moved out to Prayag. He went to Prayag. So, therefore, Rupa Goswami, along with his younger brother Anupam, they went to meet Mahaprabhu, but they could not catch him at Mathura, but they could manage to meet him in Prayag. And they were instructed for 10 days and sent to Vrindavan. Then Sanātana Goswami entrusted the responsibility of his government service to his immediate assistant. He remained home to study Srimad. In between, Sanātana Goswami, what he told, he was not retired first. So Sanātana Goswami, after Rupa Goswami retired and made this everything's arrangement of his personal money, then he went to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanātana Goswami, in the meanwhile, he put a sick leave, a long sick leave, chronic disease like this. So he went home, engaged so many learned Brahmana, and he was learning Srimad Bhagavatam. So when this Nawab Hussain Shah came to know that Sanatana Goswami was sick or absent from the service for a long time, long period of time, he sent his doctor, personal doctor, to check whether he was ill or what kind of illness. So the doctor found out that there was no illness. Then Nawab Hussain Shah came personally to meet Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami, and he found out that Sanatana Goswami was not ill, but he was not interested. He asked, why you are not interested? He told, I wanted to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I do not want to. But Nawab Hussain Shah did not agree, because Sanatana Goswami was a very exalted position. He was actually a prime minister, is administrative. So at that time, Nawab Hussain Shah planned to go to Puri to attack Jagannath Puri. So he asked Sanatana Goswami to join. Sanatana Goswami said, I won't join. This is this is a question of that. Then he told to Sanatana Goswami, why don't you take care of the administration while I was attacking Jagannath Puri? Sanatana Goswami denied. That enraged the king, Nawab Hussain Shah, and he imprisoned Sanatana Goswami. But Sanatana Goswami made a bribe to the jailer and escaped from the imprisonment and came to the Banaras to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying that time in Chandrasekhar. The two devotees, Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra, they were in Banaras. So Mahaprabhu was staying in Chandrasekhar, and every day he was taking the prasadam from Tapan Mishra, because Tapan Mishra requested that as long as you are here in Banaras, you should come to our home and take prasadam. So when Sanatana Goswami came to the Banaras, he was standing at the door of Chandrasekhar. That time Mahaprabhu asked Chandrasekhar to see who is standing. Then Chandrasekhar saw there is a mendicant, Muslim mendicant. So Mahaprabhu asked Chandrasekhar to bring this Muslim mendicant inside. Then when he saw Sanatana Goswami, immediately he embraced him. And when he embraced Sanatana Goswami said, you do not embrace me, my lord. I am very filthy. I am very low class. But Mahaprabhu gave a beautiful verses. So we will learn that how Mahaprabhu is treating his devotee, and how devotees are very, very meek and humble. It is stated that meek and humble inherit the kingdom of Godhead. So Sanatana Goswami is a very humility personified. Although he was a prime minister, Nawab Hussain Shah, so intelligent, but so humble personified. Tunam Taktya, everything he gave up and came to take shelter of Mahaprabhu. So there is a beautiful verses in this regard in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya. Mahaprabhu is quoting these beautiful verses to Sanatana Goswami. Mahaprabhu told that the same verses he went to Rupa Goswami. So he nicely started with these beautiful verses. He said to Sanatana Goswami, Bhavat Vidya Bhagavata Tirtha Bhutta Soyam Prabhu Tirthi Kurbanti Tirthani Swatantena Gadagrata. Bhavat Vidya Bhagavatas. So the same verses was spoken by Yudhishthira Maharaj to Vidura when he returned from the pilgrimage. So here says, saint of your caliber are themselves place of pilgrimage. Because of their purity, they are constant companion of Lord. Therefore, they can purify even the place of pilgrimage. That is Mahaprabhu, the first time he met Sanatana Goswami, seeing the humility of Sanatana Goswami, when Sanatana Goswami said, don't touch me, my Lord, my body is so filthy, I am so low class. Immediately Mahaprabhu quoted, Bhavat Vita Bhagavata Tirtham Soyam. Tirthibhuta Soyam Prabhu. Tirthibhuta means you are personified of pilgrimage. Because why? Wherever the pure devotees are personified of pilgrimage. Because pilgrimage means wherever there is Krishna, that is pilgrimage. So there, the pure devotee always carries the Lord in their heart. So wherever they go, they create the pilgrimage places. That place become pilgrimage, real pilgrimage. That was spoken by the Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then Mahaprabhu say that the same things he told to Rupa Goswami. Name bhakta chaturvedi madbhakta sopacha priya tasmei deyam tato graham socha pujya jathayam. So Mahaprabhu said that Lord Krishna is, even though person is very learned, Lord Krishna said, even though person is a very learned scholar of the Sanskrit Vedic literature, he is not accepted as my devotee unless he is pure in devotional service. However, even though a person is born in a family of dog eaters, he is very dear to me if he is a pure devotee who has no motive to enjoy fruitive activity and mental speculation. Indeed, all respect should be given to him. Whatever he offers should be accepted. Such devotee are worshipable as I am. See, this is very important verses. Name Bhakta Chaturvedi, so-called Chaturvedi, knowing of Veda, but he is not a devotee. What that verse? Satkarma Nipuna Vipra, Mantra Tantra Visharada. They so much Mantra Tantra Visharada. If it is a boy, a Vaishnava, no, he is not my devotee. Rather, a dog eater who is a Vaishnava, who is engaged in devotional service to the Lord, he is more glorified. He is more glorified. So that is to be understood. The so-called material education is not the proper way. Therefore, in these beautiful verses, Kapil Dev has said very nicely that Aho Bhakta Sopacha Garyan Yas Jibhagre Bhartate Namatubhyam Te Pustapa Juhubu Susnurarya Brahmanutur Nama Grinantije. So in these verses, it is said that, oh, how glorious are they whose tongue are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the family of dog eaters, such person are worshipable. Person who chant the holy name of your lordship must have educated all kind of austerity, fat sacrifice, active, all good manner of Aryans. See, if a person is a dog eater also, if he is chanting the holy name, he is glorious. So therefore, even a person of dog eater, if he is engaged in devotional service, that is accepted by the Krishna himself. Then Mahaprabhu said to, then Mahaprabhu quoted a very beautiful verses that one may be born in a Brahmana family, have all 12 Brahminical quality, but if he is not devoted to the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna, who has a navel shaped like lotus, he is not as good as Chandala, who has dedicated his mind, word, activities, wealth, and life to the service of the Lord. Simply to take birth in a Brahmana family or to have Brahminical quality is not sufficient. One must become a pure devotee of the Lord. If a Sopachar, Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself but his whole family. Whereas Brahmana, who is not a devotee but simply has a Brahminical qualification, cannot even purify himself. What to speak of his family? So this is a very instructive thing. So-called Brahmanas now very popped up. No, I am from Brahmana family. So what is the Brahmana? Useless. If there is a Brahmana family, if it is not a devotees, the position of the devotees is so exalted. Even though they belong to a outcast, they are glorious. They can deliver themselves and family. On the other hand, the so-called exalted family born in a very aristocratic, exalted family like Brahmana family, but he is not a devotee. Although he has got all 12 qualifications, Sama, Dhamma, Tapa, Saucham, all the things, but it is very useless. It is useless. Therefore, it is said that Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya is a beautiful verse spoken by Lord Chaitanya to Rupa Gosvāmī. So, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastra Japastapa Apranasya Dehasya Mandanam Lokam Ranjanam. So for a person devoid of devotional service, birth in a great family or nation, knowledge of revealed scripture, performance of austerity, penances, and chanting of Vedic mantra are like ornament on a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasure of greater populace. So this is very important thing, that the so-called without devotional service, so-called aristocratic family, so-called Vedic study, so-called austerity and all the thing, that is like an ornamentation on a dead body. What is the use of, there is a, if you buy a very costly ornament, decorated dead body, what is the use of this? Useless, utterly useless. Similarly, so-called study, Vedic rituals, then so-called austerity, all these things, so-called aristocratic birth, high birth in a Brahmina family, is all stands useless if there is a devoid of devotional service to the Lord. That is the great teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanātana Gosvāmī. Then he is a beautiful verses spoken, very important verses spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanātana Gosvāmī. We can know by that time the position of Sanātana Gosvāmī. Akno phalam twadrisya darsanam hi. See, by seeing you, my dear Vaishnava, seeing a person like you with the perfection of one's eyesight. See how important the Vaishnavas are. So devotee association is how important. Nowadays, people have, neophytes have no knowledge of this. They even do not say Hare Krishna, Dandavat, everything. They do not know the Vaishnava etiquette is the Vaishnava ornament, the fundamental principle of bhakti, the Vaishnava etiquette. That is ornament of Vaishnava. Seeing a Vaishnava is the perfection of eyesight. Another verse it is stated somewhere that if you do not happy when you see a Vaishnava, you are condemned. You are condemned. You turn away your face, you are not happy. You are condemned. See how important. The Nabhajogendra is speaking to the King Nimi in 11th canto that Dullabham Manusya Janma Khenabhangura, Dehinam Khenabhangura, Tatrapita Dullabha Vaikuntha Priyadarsanam. See, there is a very, it is very rare to achieve or attain a human form of body, and more rare to have an association with devotee. Because association of devotee is the perfection of everything. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra kahe, lava matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hoy. All perfection can be achieved simply by the association of devotee. There are 64 limbs of devotional service. Rupa Goswami has stated in his Rupa Goswami, has mentioned in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Out of 64, he told that 5 is very prominent. We can see in this chapter. Out of 5, the association of devotee, they stands out first. Because all other 4 important lives can be attained by simply association of devotee. That we will study it in the same teaching. Later on, Mahaprabhu is teaching to Sanātana Gosvāmī how important the devotee association. So in this way, Mahaprabhu is embracing Sanātana Gosvāmī, inviting Sanātana Gosvāmī. So now Sanātana Gosvāmī, so there is always a reciprocation. Simply you embrace, okay, very good. Thank you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am now so pleased because you embraced me, you have glorified me. No. When you approach a spiritual master, you should also in pranipatena paripresena sevaya upadekyanti jnanam jnaninam tatdarsina. Krishna says, chapter 434, pranipata means, first thing is that pranipata. Pranipata means prakyashta rupena pata. Nipata. Prakyashta rupena means completely like a blank slate. I do not know anything. Blank slate, you should go in a very submissive way. an inquiry. What is the ultimate goal of life? What is the purpose of life? That is the way of approaching spiritual master. Not that the fashion I will have some guru. This is not a fashion. Who is serious for the ultimate success of life, then he should approach a spiritual master, and in a very submissive mode he should inquiry. So here Sanatana Goswami, after meeting the inquiring, very nice inquiry. Everybody should have this inquiry. Human life means we must inquiry about these things. So not only Sanatana Goswami is inquiring not only for himself, for all of us, that how we should inquiry. Athata Brahma Jigyasa. The Vedic aphorism Vedanta Sutra begins with Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Now that you have got this human form of life, now you should inquire what is the purpose of life. But the problem is that if you do not inquire, then you will be misled by the society, frayed your mind. They have painted the goal of life means material aggrandizement, material amelioration, material advancement, material economic development, political maneuvering, scientific advancement, all the material pursuit. They painted the milestone of success in such a way. In this way, we were misled, and we found out that this is not the way to success of life, because this is frustrated. All our schemes, dreams, plans, proposals eventually going to fertile, because we are existing in a non-existential atmosphere. Therefore, everything we do, we scheme, we dream, that is going to be waffled, that is going to be destroyed in course of time. So therefore, we should understand the purpose of life by approaching a bona fide spiritual master, approaching a spiritual person, bona fide spiritual person. In this way, we can make our life successful. So here Sanatana Goswami teaching us how we should inquire, how we should approach with such a utmost humility, reverence to a exalted, highly exalted, elevated spiritual person, in order to solve the problem of life, in order to solve the awkward position of material existence. आपनार हिताहित किछि नाहु जानी, ग्राम्य व्यवहार पंडित ताई सत्य मानी. I do not know what is beneficial for me, what is detrimental. Nonetheless, in ordinary dealing, people consider me a learned scholar. I am also thinking myself as such. Very nice. Out of your causeless mercy, you have delivered me from the materialistic path. Now, by the same causeless mercy, please tell me what my duty is. He is now asking what my duty is. Now you have delivered me. Is the spirituality does not mean that, okay, now I know I am this body, I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. No. The actual service begins when you understand that I am the spirit soul. Brahma bhutta prasanatma na susati na kankyati samaha sarva bhutesu madha bhakti labhate param. 854. So here, therefore, Rupa Goswami is asking, Sanatana Goswami is asking very, very fundamental thing. Just like Lord Krishna is actually explained the fundamental thing to the starting, begins the Bhagavad Gita with a fundamental thing, what is our identity, to Arjuna. Similarly here, Sanatana Goswami also asking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, ke ami kene amaya jare tapatraya, iha nahi jani kemone hito hoye. Who am I? Why do the threefold of misery always give me trouble? If I do not know this, how can I be benefited? I do not know what is my identity. Why the threefold of misery, adhyatmik, adi doibik, adi bhautik, give me trouble? If I do not know this, how can I be benefited? The three miseries is very important. Because even a successful man is subject to all this adhyatmik, adi doibik, adi bhautik. There is a statement is there in 7th canto by Rupa, I think by Narada Muni, I think. 7:13:31. it is stated here that materialistic activities are always mixed with the three kinds of miserable conditions: adhyatmic, adhidoivik, adhibhautik. Therefore, even one achieves some success by performing such activity, what is the benefit of this success? One is still subject to the birth, death, old age, disease, and the reaction of his fruitive activities. See? Say that every person, even though he is a successful man, but he has to be undergoing all the threefold of misery. So what is the benefit of all the success if he is going to lose everything? If he is prone to, is bound to undergo all threefold of misery. Therefore, Sanātana Gosvāmī first is telling, who am I? I do not know what is my identity. Our 90% of problem is that we do not know our real identity. IC means identity card, but identity crisis, because everybody is thinking of this identity, designated himself as per his country, birthplace, like country, religions, race, social status, and so on and so forth. I am rich, I am engineer, I am doctor, according to their occupations, according to their social status, according to their country, I am Indian, according to religion, I am Hindu, all these things, according to their color, I am black, white, brown. So they're this identity crisis. They are mistakenly designated. That is the problem. Similarly, just like today is Valentine's Day. So people are freely telling that, oh, I love you. But they do not know the I is the spiritual being. You is also a spiritual being. They do not know the identity of I, identity of your beloved. And how there can be a love if on a platform of misidentification. So if you know that your identity is spiritual being and the beloved identity is spiritual being, this love goes beyond the physical and mental, mental, and any kind of emotional layer. But it is a spiritual connection. That is real love. Therefore, in material world, there is no question of love. It is a lost. Because here, everything on the platform of misidentification, I is the body, and you, my beloved, is a body, and love is satisfying the body, mutual satisfaction of the body, sense gratification. Therefore, it is called lost. As soon as there is a discrepancy of this transaction of self-mutual sense gratification, there is a breakup, there is a divorce. What kind of love this is? So therefore, the love is redefined or properly defined in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Atmendriya Pritivancha Kare. If you think of your self-interest, self-sense gratification, that is called loss. But Krishnendriya Pritivancha Kare, if you think of Krishna's pleasure, to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is called love. So love can be resolved only in spiritual world. Love can be expressed, exhibited, and reserved for Krishna, God. Because there is no question of self-interest. You break me, or you make me broken-hearted, or you embrace me, but still you are my lover. That is called spiritual understanding. Because spirit soul, we are a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. You are meant to be loved, to love the Lord. Our reciprocation of love must be to the Krishna. Not on the material world, on the bodily platform, but in the spiritual world and to Krishna. But we do not know that. We are thinking Valentine's Day, this proposal. And if you take for granted, then Krishna is actually inviting everyone for Valentine's Day. You propose me, Manmana Bhava Madha Bhakta, you become my beloved. You just propose me by chanting my name, Manmana Bhava Madha Bhakta. You become my beloved by chanting my name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And everybody offering the rose. You offer me a rose with love. Patram puspam phalam tvami jame bhaktya prayachati tadham asnami prayatamana. You offer me a rose with love, I will accept it. So for devotee perspective, or for spiritual perspective, every day is a Valentine's Day. Because Krishna is open to everyone without discrimination. Everybody can come and love Krishna. Actually, in spiritual world, we are all beloved of Krishna. We are part and parcel. We are meant to be engaged in the service. Love is not just a expression of the word, expression of the feelings, but service, rendering service. There is no love without service. Just like a mother is loving his child, means mother is serving his child. A wife is loving his husband. Wife is serving his husband. Love means service, selfless service. And that only can be reserved and found in spiritual world. In material world, everything is based on the bodily platform. So there cannot be any love. So similarly, we should know our identity, which Sanātana Gosvāmī very rightly questioned, who am I? Ke ami? Kene amar jare tapotraya? Why there is a threefold of misery inflicted? I want to be happy in this material world. I have turned away from Krishna. Krishna bhuliya jivo bhagovancha kare nikatastha mayatre jhapote. I have decided to turn away from Krishna, separately enjoy in this material world. But why the misery inflicted upon me? I want to be happy, but I am not happy. I want to take rasgulla, 100 rasgulla, but I am having diabetes if I take so much. I do not want to die, but I am enforced to die. I do not want to be diseased, but I am enforced to disease like COVID and so many things. I do not want to be old age, despite so many plastic surgery and so many creams, anti-aging creams from a very sophisticated brand. Still, I am getting old age. My skins are, become slackened. Why? Why this awkward position? That is real thing. This spiritual knowledge is entitlement of this intelligent class of people, those who addresses the awkward position of life, not the foolish people. Fool people, they do not know what to do, what not to do. They are full of ignorance and suffering. More you ignorance, more you suffer like animals and all. How they are suffering? Therefore, human form of life is an advanced species and most advanced species as far as our evolutionary process. Therefore, a human form of life, it is incumbent, imperative, indispensable to question this to our spiritually exalted person. Who am I? Why this trouble? Why I have been put in an awkward position? How can I be benefited? How can I get out from this awkward position, precarious situation? Just like Arjuna is asking to Krishna. साध्य साधना तत्व पूछते ना जानी कृपा करी सब तत्व कहना अपनी. Actually, I do not know how to inquire about the life, the process for obtaining it and being merciful upon me. Please explain all this truth. So here they very nice. Is asking that please tell me what is the truth. What is I do not know what is the goal. Even I do not know what is the inquiry, how to inquiry. The process of obtaining it also. Be merciful. Therefore, devotee, why devotees are exalted? When you come in contact with devotee, you do not know what is the purpose of life. You do not know what is the inquiry also. You do not know how to inquire that what is my benefit, what is my self-interest, how can I, You do not know A, B, C, anything. A to Z you do not know. Therefore, devotee is enlightened. Sadhu Sangha is important because Sadhu Sangha means there is a knowledge. You get the knowledge. How to get out from this clutches of Maya, clutches of material existence, clutches of suffering. So very nicely asked question by A. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining the very nice things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is answering this very, very important subject matter, this one, important verses also. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the first answer, like Krishna has spoke to Arjuna, that in the very beginning is clarifying that who you are. Jivera Swarupa Hoye Krishnera Nitya Dasa, Krishnera Tatastha Sakti Veda Veda Prakasa. So here it is beautifully explained, 2, 3 verses we will read and we will discourse these classes. It is the living entity constitutional position to be an eternal servant of Krishna. Because it's the marginal energy of Krishna and manifestation of simultaneously one with different from the Lord, like a molecular particle of sunshine and fire. Krishna is three varieties of religion. So very nicely answer. Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained these verses as follows. Sri Sanātana Gosvāmī asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who am I? In answer, Lord replied, you are the pure living entity. You are neither the gross material body nor the subtle body composed of mind and intelligence. Actually, you are the spirit soul, eternally part and parcel of Supreme Soul, Krishna. Therefore, you are his eternal servant. You belong to Krishna's marginal potency. There are two worlds. The spiritual world and the material world. You are situated between the material and spiritual potency. Therefore, we are called marginal, tatastha Shakti. In between spiritual and marginal, because we are superior energy. Material energy is inferior. Krishna says Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, 4, 5. And internal potency is more higher. But we are called Tatastha Shakti. There is Maya Shakti, Chit Shakti, Jiva Shakti. We are in between Maya Shakti and Chit Shakti. Therefore Tatastha. Internal potency, external potency, and marginal potency. We have relationship with both the material and spiritual world. Therefore, you are called the marginal. Because sometimes, just like a bank of the river, sometimes it is underwater, sometimes it is not underwater. Similarly, as a marginal potency, we are sometimes under spiritual energy. That means we are with Krishna. Then we are happy. Sometimes we are under material energy. Just like a person, sometimes he is under the civil law, he is a very good citizen. Sometimes he is under the criminal law, he is inside the jail. So this is the thing. Because you are a spirit soul, you are one in quality with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because you are very minute particular spirit soul, you are different from the Supreme Soul. So what is the difference between God and ourselves? Qualitatively same, but quantitatively we are different. Just like a drop of ocean and ocean. If you see the composition is same, salt. Is salty, both having salty quality. But quantitatively, ocean is very unfathomable. But small drop is very limited. So our is very limited. Our position is limited. Therefore, we are simultaneous difference and Veda Abheda, Achinta Veda, inconceivable, same and different. That is the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaudiya Vaishnava. Means we are qualitatively same, but quantitatively different. We are very minute compared to the Supreme Lord. We are part and parcel, therefore, inherit the qualities, but as quantitatively, we are not same. The example given are those sun itself and small particle of sunshine, of blazing, and of a blazing fire of the small particle of fire. So there's an example is given. Sun and sunshine. Mahaprabhu has given an analogy that sun is so, sunshine is a part of the sun, a particle of sun, is small in quantity, but qualitatively both having heat and light. Sun also produce heat and light, small spark also produce heat and light. Qualitatively same, but quantitatively not. So this is the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanātana Gosvāmī. Then he has again explained very nicely this next verses, these very nice verses from Vishnu Purana. Just the illumination of fire which is situated in one place is spread all over all over. The energy of Supreme Personality of God at Param Brahma are spread all over the universe. So this is the thing. This is the quotation from Vishnu Purana. Just like a sun is there, but it's diffused everywhere. Everywhere the sunshine. All the sun is so far, but his rays has been distributed everywhere. The next verse is also very nice. We say that Lord Krishna naturally has three energetic transformations. These are known as spiritual potency, living entity, the living entity potency, and illusory potency. There are three kind of potencies. There so many energy. Verse is there that that Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Swape. Lord has so many potency, just like a rich man has so many secretary. But the prominents are there, three prominent. What are the three prominent? Chit Shakti, that is called internal potency or spiritual potency. Jiva Shakti, that is called Tatastha Shakti. We are this Jiva Shakti. Then Ara Maya Shakti. Maya Shakti means this is called external potency or illusory potency. That is called Maya Shakti. There are three potency are there. Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta Khetra Agnya Tatha Para Avidya Karma Samagnya Tritiya Shakti Rishyate. So here is explaining that originally Krishna's energy is spiritual, and energy, the energy known as the living entity, is also spiritual. However, there is an energy called illusion which consists of fruitive activity. That is the Lord's third potency. So actually, according to Bhagavad Gita, that there are internal potency or whole spiritual. We are also part and parcel. We are also spiritual, and there is another illusory energy called Maya, which consists of illusion, ignorance, avidya. So when we come in contact with, although we are superior spiritual energy, but when we come in contact with material energy, we are covered by the ignorance. Therefore, we do not know what is the ultimate goal of life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is quoting so many verses to explain that how the living entity, although is spiritual energy of the Lord, although is a part and parcel of the Lord, but unfortunately, due to misuse of our minute independence, when we come in contact with material energy of the Lord, which is called avidya, which is full of ignorance, full of illusion. Maya means which is not illusion. So just like we are thinking that, oh, we are happy in this material world, oh, we are not going to die, or this is all illusion only. Oh, he is my father, he is my beloved, he is my Valentine, all this illusion. So this is Maya Shakti. When you come in contact with material energy, we have forgotten our real knowledge. We have forgotten our real knowledge. Therefore, we are under the ignorance. We are thinking that I am body, I am somehow I am suffering because of this ignorance. The next verses is speaking very nicely. All the creative energy which are inconceivable to a common man exist in supreme absolute truth. This inconceivable energy act in process of creation, maintenance, and annihilation. O cheap of ascetic, just as there are two energy possessed by fire, namely heat and light. This inconceivable creative energy and natural characteristic of the absolute truth. O king, the Kshatragya Shakti is the living entity. Although he has facility to live either in the material world or spiritual world, he suffers the threefold misery of material existence because he is influenced by avidya, science potency, which covers his constitutional position. That is the why we have turned away. Why we are suffering? Because when we come in contact with the things, then we are under the influence of avidya, ignorance. Because material energy works on the ignorance platform. We do not know our constitutional position. We do not know we are the servant of Krishna. We do not know we are the part and parcel of the Krishna. We do not know even we are the spirit soul. Therefore, in Bhagavatam also it is stated, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam also is stated that this is a beautiful verse where Vyasadeva is speaking that Yaha samahita jivam atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manute nartham tatkirtam chavipadyate. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks himself as a material power, thus undergoes a reaction of material misery. See, same thing. Because of when you come in contact with external energy of Maya, which covers the our knowledge, real knowledge. So due to ignorance, we are now suffering in this material existence. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking very nicely to Sanātana Gosvāmī in detail, very elaborately. This living entity covered by the influence of niche science exists in different form of material condition. O king, he is thus proportionately freed from the influence of material energy to greater or lesser degree. So according to our ignorance, just like according to our capacity or capability, we get salary. Somebody is CEO, somebody is engineer, somebody is manager, somebody is developer, somebody is apprenticeship. So accordingly we get it. Similarly, according to our ignorance, we get different body and different material existence, different suffering. More we are ignorance, more suffering, more lower body. We will awarded lower body. It is stated in these beautiful verses that Bhagavatam, that how according to our ignorance we have been placed in different body. Covered by mode of ignorance in material nature, living entity is sometimes a male, sometimes a female, sometimes a Enos, sometimes a human being, sometimes a demigod, sometimes a bird, an animal, so on. In this way, is wandering within the material world. His acceptance of different type of body is brought about by his activity under the influence of modes of nature. That means under the influence of ignorance. Ignorance, it's a ignorance only. Covered by the mode of ignorance in material nature. Because Maya work in avidya. This is avidya Shakti. Covered by avidya. So this is beautifully taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Gosvāmī. Sorry, Sanātana Gosvāmī. Then this is a beautiful verses is there. It is stated the same thing Bhagavad Gita also. Beside the inferior energy of mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entity who are exploiting the resources of material nature and inferior nature. This is Bhagavad Gita also 7.5 it is stated. So here it is very important verses. Forgetting Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the external feature from the time memorial. Therefore, the illusory energy Maya gives him all kind of misery in his material existence. That is the problem. Why the root cause of our material existence, misery? Material misery, because we have turned away from Krishna. We have turned away from Krishna. Bhuli se jiva anadi bahirmukha ateva maya tare de sansara dukkha. Krishna bhuli, we have forgotten our Krishna. Forgotten our constitutional position. Because everybody has got the independence. We have minute independence. Krishna is full of independence. We are part and parcel. We inherit that minute independence. When that minute independence is misused, just like many people will attend the classes, many may not attend the classes. It is the independence. When you misuse that independence, then we are in a problematic situation. This is stated in these beautiful verses also. Before we go to this one, I will show you these beautiful verses by Narada Muni in 429, 26, I think, yes. In these verses, it is stated here that how we have torn away. What is the root cause of our falling down into the material world? In these verses, it is stated here, the living entity by nature has minute independence to choose his own good or bad fortune. But when he forgets his supreme master, the personality of Godhead, he gives himself unto the modes of material nature. Being influenced by the modes of material nature, he identifies himself with the body, and for the interest of the body, he becomes attached to various activities. Sometimes he is under the influence of mode of ignorance, sometimes mode of passions, sometimes mode of goodness. The living entity gets different type of body under the modes of material nature. See, our suffering is when we misuse this independence, then we suffer. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that in the material condition, living entity is sometimes raised to higher planetary system and material prosperity, sometimes down into a hellish situation. His state is exactly like that of a criminal whom king punishes, submerging him in water, then raising him again from the water. That's a very good thing. So sometimes we are, according to our degree of ignorance, we have been a degree of infection, sometimes severe, sometimes mild. We will get different body and we will be suffering. When living entity is attracted by material energy, which is separate from Krishna, he is overpowered by fear because he is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the material energy. His conception of life is reversed. In other words, instead of being the eternal servant of Krishna, he becomes Krishna's competitor. This is called Viparaya Smriti. To nullify this mystic one who is actually learned and advanced, worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the spiritual master, worshipable deity, source of life. He does worship the Lord by process of unallowed devotional service. That is very important thing. Because when you are now suffering in this material existence, as soon as we come to the material existence separated from Krishna, we are overpowered by fear. We do not know, everything is uncertainty, fear. And instead of, and that over because we are separated from these things, we are full of fear, and our conception of life is reversed. We are thinking, I am this body, milestone of success, I will have a condo if I have so much money, bank balance, wife, husband, relatives, so and so forth, fame. We do not know, our conception of life is completely reversed. In this way we are having fearful, because material world is full of fear, because it is transient by nature. So we always fear of losing things. So instead of we are eternal servant of Krishna, we become the eternal servant of Maya and become competitor of Krishna and to compete with Krishna. Therefore, so much miserable condition. Our intelligence is reversed. Our mind is reversed. Everything is like opposite. So we are suffering on account of this. This verses is from the 11 to 37 of Bhagavatam. How we can get delivered? Sadhu Shastra Krupaya Jadi Krishna Mukho se Jivan Istara Maya Tathara Chade. If the conditioned soul become Krishna consciousness by the mercy of saintly person who voluntarily preach spiritual injunctions and help him to become Krishna consciousness, the conditioned soul is liberated from the clutches of Maya who gives him up. The only way to get out from the clutches of Maya is Sadhu Sangha, saintly person. Because saintly person is preaching the scriptural injunction and help them to become Krishna consciousness. Because scriptural knowledge is like a manual how to get out from this awkward position of life, how to get out from this material existence, how to get out from this material atmosphere, go to spiritual atmosphere. Whole scheme of Bhagavad Gita or all the scriptures, revealed scripture, has one scheme, one program, one plan, how to get us the conditioned soul from material atmosphere to spiritual atmosphere, so that they can get the respite from all this onward, very troubled position. So another two verses we will end up this teaching, and we will continue in next year. So Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita also, here also quoted by Chaitanya, this divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross them. So this is very important, to surrender to Krishna. So without surrendering, it's very, very insurmountable. This is very insurmountable. This material world is very insurmountable. We cannot cross it. The ocean of nescience is very difficult to cross because it is infested with many dangerous sharks. Although one non-devotee undergoes severe austerity penance to cross the ocean, we recommend that you simply take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are like a boat for crossing the ocean. Although the ocean is difficult to cross, by taking shelter of his lotus feet, you will overcome all. So this is the solution Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. So we will continue that, because Mahaprabhu is continuing his teaching to Sanātana Gosvāmī, and is answering what you are and how you, what is your real position, constitutional position, what is your real identity, and how you have fallen down. What is the root cause of your falling down into the material existence and suffering? So you are misusing your independence. You have forgotten the Krishna by misusing your minute independence to turn away from Krishna. As a result, you are suffering. Sometimes suffering is good, sometimes suffering is very severe, mild, according to your ignorance. As soon as you come in contact with material existence, you are in ignorance, and according to your proportionately, you are awarded different type of bodies, and you are suffering, undergoing all the trials, tribulation, trouble of material existence. To get out from this one, you have to seek this devotee association, because by devotee association you will get the scriptural knowledge that is a guide to get us out from this material atmosphere, from this material existence, from this material misery, to spiritual existence, which is full of knowledge and bliss and eternity. Up to this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking, and also his speaking is very difficult. So in further, he will be speaking about how, what is the process of getting out from this seemingly very difficult material existence, difficult material energy of the Lord. Thank you very much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Chaitanya Chaitanya Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari.